Hi, I'm Dr. Dave Janda, and please welcome to our Operation Freedom platform, WeThePeopleProcessing.com. You know, are you tired of being threatened to be canceled just because you have a company focused on liberty and freedom? Well, worry no more, folks. WeThePeopleProcessing.com is your go-to merchant services, freedom-based company to provide business service payment solutions. We the People Processing provides their clients a cancel culture-free platform which is domestically based. They provide competitive rates, no contracts with next-day funding, a fully vetted and like-minded financial infrastructure, and full support for integrations, implementation, and e-commerce efforts. Bottom line, WeThePeopleProcessing.com focuses on defending your company's free market growth, values, and future. Check them out at www.WeThePeopleProcessing.com. Once you're on the site, enter in password Operation Freedom or call 855-499-2024. That's WeThePeopleProcessing.com. Then, when on the website, enter Operation Freedom as your password or call 855-499-2024.
Mr. President-elect,
go ahead.
Can you say
Asking a
categorically,
question.
Mr. President-elect, can you give us a question?
Don't be
You're
rude.
attacking us. Can you give us a question?
Don't be rude. No, I'm not going to give you a question. I'm not going to give you a question.
Can you state categorically?
You are fake news.
Sir.
I'm Dr. Dave Janda. Welcome back to Dave versus the MSN. I'd like to thank you for joining me today. A happy holiday season. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. Oh, yeah. It is going to be a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Look, the bought-off lamestream fake media tentacle of the deep states wants you to believe that, hey, it's a fait accompli. Deep state, New World Order crowd, criminal international banking syndicate, globalist syndicate, whatever you want to call them. They got it. I mean, it's all fallen their way. No, it's not. No. No, they're desperate and they're panicked. How do I know that? Well, when I look at what they're trying to do to our content, how they're trying to suppress our content here, even on other platforms such as Rumble, but they can't suppress it. Oh, they've tried, but they can't suppress it at davejanda.com. So, we're always there for you. The light of freedom, the beacon of freedom is always on for you at davejanda.com. We have a tremendous amount of free content there. We also have the subscription content where we go into great depth on issues I cannot go to, even mention here, or for that matter on other platforms. We have great guests, great analysis, great shows, great information for you. All there. Free side, but also the subscription side. That's how you can support what Operation Freedom does. What we do is we empower people by giving them information the bought-off lamestream fake media, tentacle of the deep state do not want you to hear about or know about. This past Sunday on the radio show Operation Freedom, I had one of our regular guests, Dr. Robin McCutcheon, who's an absolute incredibly courageous freedom fighter for academic freedom. And we spoke actually about glad Christmas tidings. We talked about the good things that are happening. That the deep state, the globalist syndicate, the New World Order crowd, whatever you want to call them, the totalitarian thugs, the thugocracy, they thought when this hit in 2019, earlier than December 2019, when this hit, here's that little gift for you, that by now, all their way, no one would be stepping up and protesting. No one would be standing up for their individual rights and freedoms, that it would be all their way. And it's very, very far from all their way. In fact, the actions you now see out of them are based on desperation and panic. Fact. That's not hopium. It's true. Robin and I discussed this past week. You see, they thought when they unleashed this, that, wow, and their mass mayhem across the world, that we would all fold like a cheap suit. Instead, yeah, some folded, yeah. And some, oh, don't hurry, oh, well, I'll do whatever you want. Well, here, yeah. But many of us stood up to every side of this and took it on, head on. And many of us decided that we were going to empower others by educating them with the facts. Not the propaganda that was shoved down their throat by the Chris Cuomos of the world and the MSNBCs and even members of Fox and you name it across the board. No, what happened was you stood up and you talked to your family and your friends and your coworkers and your neighbors, and yeah, it upset many of them, but you still kept talking to them about what was really going on. And at first, they thought, well, they're a nice person, but they're off. They're off. And then, as this game plan of the elite had rolled out, they started to question it. Maybe they didn't even tell you they were questioning it, but they did. And yeah, there's still a bunch of them out there. They're a part of a cult we call the Branch Covidians. On Operation Freedom, I've been speaking about inflation, supply chain issues, and voting with your hard-earned dollars and how to make a difference. Look, we all know over the past couple years how the globalist syndicate has done quite well. And while middle America, small and medium-sized American-made businesses have suffered while the big box stores have prospered. Many people believe, well, there's nothing you can do about it. I believe there is, folks. I believe there is. That's the good news. We need to vote with our dollars. That is how we make a difference. What if there was a better way to utilize our resources that we have earned to support small and medium-sized businesses rather than these big box stores or the globalist syndicate? Look, businesses that do not rely on cargo ships from far-off distant lands, that are American-based businesses, are the key. And that is where patriotswitch.com gives you and me the ability to help each other. Rather than continuing to give our money to the big box stores or the globalist syndicate, if you will. That's why patriotswitch.com was created, to help provide products from family-owned, American-made businesses and companies and provide it to folks like you and me. That's patriotswitch.com, patriotswitch.com. But there are a significant number of people who were once part of that, who because of your efforts have now moved away from it and questioned it. And that's the key. Getting people to question. Simple questions. If it's so effective, why are so many people that getting sick, going to the hospital, dying? What is it? 80% in the UK? Recent data. Not including all the injuries associated. We know that through our own CDC system. Yeah. You see, they thought if they had to stay in your house, and they thought if they pulled your kids out of school, and they thought if they chopped off through their puppets that they had installed in different levels of government, federal, state, local, that they could break you psychologically. That happened to some people. And some have bounced back from it. That happened to some people, and they're still part of the cult. But fewer and fewer. Many fewer. And this is why they're so desperate. Well, Robin and I spoke about some of the things that, well, if it were not for and them releasing this, that many people would not have come to the realization of what really was going on about control and power and stripping of freedoms and liberties, that many people before this was released thought that was all conspiracy theory, that there was these other people that were doing all that. No. It might be conspiracy, but it's conspiracy reality. It's conspiracy fact. A couple things Robin pointed out. Because of parents became knowledgeable about what their kids were being taught and how off the rails it was. And how the education system had morphed very differently from a system that older folks like us and even younger folks than us had experienced and gone through, of how it had morphed into a psyops operation in many fronts. That realization could not have occurred without this. The realization about how elections were run versus how they should be run occurred because of this. Robin, she teaches at a university. She says that the students are more awakened today about what's really happening, about who's really behind it, because of this. Exponentially more so than they were before this. Before this, and Robin would speak about this, what was really going on, they'd be like, okay, well, that's interesting, but well, I don't know. Now they're like, whoa, let me tell you, Professor, what we learned on our own. This is a huge change that never would have occurred without them releasing that. Look at the protests that are occurring, peaceful protests that are occurring worldwide. Austria, Croatia, Italy, Northern Ireland, the UK, France, Germany, Netherlands, Canada, Australia, Japan, and even here in the United States. People have awakened. Now, those peaceful protests, you're not seeing it on the bought-off lamestream fake media because they're a tentacle of the deep state. It scares the living bejeebies out of them that this is happening by the hundreds and hundreds of thousands in each one of these cities, in each one of these countries. Just look. There's been an awakening in our own court system. You know, we all came to the realization that the court system was not working the way it was set up to. That the injustices, this two-tiered justice system was, you know, what Bill Binney calls the just us system for the elites, right? JUST-US system for the elites. But there are some courageous judges that have stepped up. Just look at what's happened in the past week and a half. Or actually, let's go back a month. The Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals stood up and said, hey, this OSHA thing that you're trying to do, And the Sixth Circuit just said, hey, wait a minute, you're trying to move that case and have us overrule the Fifth Circuit? You're trying to do that, Biden-Harris? Forget it. Boom. Did you hear about that on Fox? Did you hear about that on CNN or MSN? Of course you didn't. The Sixth Circuit just stood up and told the administration, no. What they ruled about OSHA was right, and we're not going to hear it. They already did. Or the fact that in Missouri when 10 states brought a suit about this in healthcare workers. That federal court in Missouri said, no, that mandate thing? And then a court in Louisiana last week that heard about, for 14 other states, about the CMS, Center for Medicare and Medicaid Services, mandate for healthcare workers. That there was a ruling, as I said, in Missouri, 10 for 10 states said no mandate. Then Louisiana said for those 14 states, no mandate. But then that judge did the unthinkable to the deep state. That judge came in and said, not just for these 14 states, not just for those 10 states, nationwide. And what happened? Healthcare centers around the country started to fold. Why? Because they came to the realization, wait, whoa. If there are no mandates, guess what? We're on the legal hook. For all those people who we fired, for all those people who left, they left their jobs because of our mandate. All those people that did this, and well, now they're having some repercussions from it. We're on the hook. Oh gosh, we can't let this stand. Big medical centers like the Cleveland Clinic, like Advent Health in Florida, 83,000 employees? No, it's just the tip of the iceberg. Then we had a federal court decision in Kentucky that involved Kentucky, Tennessee, and Ohio about the federal contractor. That was one of the other mandates. Federal contractor. You're a federal contractor. This is bad. The judge ruled no. For the 3 states that filed suit, no. And there are cases on the books now pending for the entire country for federal contractors. And then, the dark night, the Office of Management and Budget through the White House said, those federal workers, and the mandate we have for them, well, don't do anything about it right now. Don't. Shh. There's been this huge awakening amongst patriots in the judicial system that have said, no. This is huge. But 99% of the public in this country and around the world are unaware of this. All of this that I just told you. And here's the best part. The independent media, such as this platform and a number of others, continue to deliver that information to you. And it isn't stopping with you. That you have taken upon yourselves to tell your friends and families and neighbors and coworkers about what's really going on. And those that are still in the cult are, well, I don't want to hear this. Stop it. But they're hearing it. And they're thinking about it. And they're drifting away from the cult. Just as millions and millions of others have. Just think of where we were last year. They were just rolling this out. Right? It was a panacea. 100% of people protected, safe, no problem. And look at the awakening that's occurred. Not because the bought-off lamestream fake media, which if they were doing their job, but they are doing their job for the deep state, to hide it, but because of the independent media. Every single one of us have put our lives in the line to deliver this information, and it's working. Because the cult is not growing, it's shrinking, it's shriveling up. And I believe 2022, you will see that process accelerate even quicker. We have a lot to celebrate this holiday season, but we can't sit on our couches. Use the holiday season, the get-togethers, to educate and empower every person you come in contact with. And they might not appreciate it at first, but they will. Sometimes in the short run, many times in the medium run, and definitely in the long run. What you're doing is saving not just yourself, not just your family. You're saving our country and you're saving the world. Fact. I hope you'll join us 24/7 at davejanda.com. Great guests, great analysis, great interviews, great content, all there for you. Until next time, Dave Janda signing off. Dream big and dare to fail. Thanks for your time today.